And welcome to Oakley Hour. Thank you very much for joining me and supporting our channel. As you can see, we have the Moomin package arrive, and we have issues 91 to 95. So we will be doing that this week or the next 5 days. So we are going to start with 91, and I have a really good idea in this one. So keep watching to see how that worked out. See you in a mo. Alrighty, so let's start on issue 91 and see what goodies we have in store for us for today. So, okay, we're going to do the roof. We don't have any sides, and do some steps by the looks of it. So it looks like we are probably going to have a lot of dyeing of the wood to do. So I will get that done. I'll do one on camera and then I'll do the rest off, so that you're aware. And the book gives us stories on fantastic characters, which is in the Moomin. So Dance of the Forest, that sounds pretty fun. The Marsh Lady, we got fire spirits, mud snakes, sea creatures, sea dogs, kind of cool. And then we have, okay, they're leaving the pier on an adventure. Like I say, I never knew that this build had the pier, but here we are. And Moomin in the Sea tells you all about it down here, so this is pretty cool. And then I'd imagine we go into what the build is going to be. Ooh, lots of parts, lots of dyeing of stuff. So I'm going to get it probably all dyed at the beginning, because it looks like you dye this, put it together, and then you dye this. So they're probably different colours. Let me show you what colours they are. If you're using paints, I'll be using wood dye, and I'm just going to use the same one. So that's the one for the roof, and the one for the steps is slightly different, probably the same composition as it was for when we did the pier. So that's kind of those ones, but as you know, I did the pier as a wood dye as well, so it makes sense for me to carry on that. So what we have in this pack is here. Let me get that open, just off camera, just to save you some noise. Alright, got the lid off anyway. So looks like we're going to be cutting pieces here and here and here and here. So these all need to be cut out before they're dyed, and then we can get them done and do this. I know that some pieces on here we're not going to use, and then we have a little ring to do as well. So let's make a start on, let me get the book open so I know what I'm doing would be a good move, or at least get the right steps going in the first place. So I changed my volume. I realised that my volume was really quite low, so if I'm deafening you all, I do apologise. I'm trying to work on my settings so it's a little bit louder. So we need the small one from here, so let me get that out. Let me use a knife for that, which is here, because this one wants to catch. I don't like that. I was going to split the wood. Okay, alright, so we're going to need to rub that one down. Then we will be needing the middle one here. I'm trying to get out and also struggling. Need the outside one. And then the middle one, it just seems like they catch on one or two areas here. So it's quite a bit to build this time. It's all about the pier, but it always makes me laugh. You would think they would do the walls before they do the roof. And you know how I like roofs. I really struggled before, so we will see. And again, these will all need sanding down before we glue them, and that is trash. So you got this piece trash and that piece trash. Okay, so let me get these separated. And it is a reasonably new blade, may not be new enough. And that one went through okay. Okay. and I'll get all this done, and then I'll get my dyeing stuff ready to get them dyed, and I'll show you what I do. I'll be using my crocodile clips because there's a lot of them to hold them in place. So I'm going to get all these sanded down. All I do is use I need to get a new one out, but I use basically a nail file, really. I was gonna bend it then. Did you see that? I was attempting to, like, should I bend it? It's like, no, behave yourself. So all I do before I go on is take literally a sanding stick or nail file, really, and just go along the edge here. If you're worried about well, it's all going to be dyed anyway, so it won't matter, and just make sure it's smooth to the touch. That's what you're looking for, and this wasn't on that side, so again, just going to put everything that is ready to be dyed over here, and then I'll get everything together for dyeing it. I'll get all the rest finished off camera. Alright, so let me get on and do all of that. Alright, well, miracles come on miracles. I managed to get them all out and rub down without breaking anything. I mean, you know, it's something for me. Okay, as far as dye goes, I use gloves. It is a messy job. So make sure you protect all your areas. So you splash it on both sides. I was going to get my crocodile clips out, but that's kind of more needed for painting, really. So I decided against it. I'm going to get my edges as well. Cover up maybe any sanding areas that I might have. Every one of them only had one burr, by the way. I didn't have more than one burr to rub down on the piece, so not too bad at all. So what you do is do something like so, and then grab a piece of kitchen towel, paper towel, depending where you're from, and rub it off. And technically that is ready straight away. However, I like to leave it to dry for at least half an hour. That's my personal thing. So I'm going to get on and do the rest of these because there's a lot to do, and get them all drying, and I will be back to start putting it together. Alright, so those are all done. Reason that I use paint dye rather than paint is because it doesn't need to be rubbed down, so it all joins well. The same as why I use acrylic pens, exactly the same reason. It doesn't have a surface. I started this model and I did paint them, and I have to be honest with you, it was streaky. It just didn't look good. If I had what's it, airbrushing, I think it is, it probably would have had a totally different outcome. But yeah, it's to do with the residue and things like this. This serves the purpose, it still looks good, and I'm really quite happy with the outcome of them being dyed. So I'm going to give these half an hour now to just take. I mean, like I say, they are dry. I could pick them up now, don't have gloves, and it's okay. So yeah, I'll be back. Alright, so these are the first parts we will need. And the very first is quite straightforward, she says. I think it's all quite straightforward. I'm hoping I have a lot more success than I did last time. So you probably don't need to put that much wood glue on. You're going to put the little ring here, inside here. Well, not inside, on top. So I'm probably putting a bit much wood glue on. Handy on these applicators though, because you can tell it exactly where to go. And just line that up, give that a second to take, and then we're going to start on these pieces. So the important thing to know is the piece with the end like this is what is going to go in eventually into this one, like so, and be glued in. And the bottom piece, this piece here with the cutout, goes in the bottom piece like so, and it goes in on every other one. So put one in, miss one, put one in, miss one. I'm just going to give that a moment to take. Okay, so it's had 5 minutes, so not long, so it definitely won't be set. And now get rid of that on the inside there. Okay, so like I say, it's every other one. So put this in, make sure your spoke goes upwards. Just checking myself, or are we turning it over? I think we're turning it over, guys. We are. Just check that. Okay, it doesn't say to turn it over, but all the pictures, can't remember where I put the glue, all the pictures look like it's turned over, so that's what we're going with. So put that one in, and then one opposite. So I'm just going to make sure there's going to be one there, one there, one there, and one here. Make sure that I go opposite, and it's pointing up the right way. So I guess that ring we put on is for the balancing when it goes on the boathouse. So just make sure that's in the best it can, and because this wood glue I can manoeuvre this a little bit as well. Oh, I see a bird that I never caught. Let's see if I can get that quick. Probably need to might need to get my other file out. Okay, I think we're okay. Alright, and then you put this one on. So let's put some wood glue on this tab here, and this one as well. And let's get the balancing game on. So I want to make sure it's in the right one. So 1, 2, 3. Side. Okay, where were we starting? It should have a little bit of glue on it. I think it's there. So 2, 4, 6, 8. So this one. Oh, good times. Okay, I'm going to put them in here first. No, I guess I'm not. Alright, let me start that again. So what I've done is I've put it in the top part first, because the angle of that, you can't really go, she says, you can't really go wrong, because it's got the little tabs and you know where it's going to go. And then I will put it in here. So, wish me luck. We will try this again, because it's still not dry. I'm going to have a total hate for roofs, I tell you. Just when I'm not a builder, I probably would be totally off the idea of ever going up a ladder. Not that I'm great with heights either, but yeah, I used to be when I was younger. Didn't bother me. Right, and then push them in as far as you can with a slight adjustment, and I think we're in business. Trying to make sure, and that's the other thing with why you dye it first, is because if you put, well, they don't want you to put this together first anyway, but if you did, it's really difficult to paint over any glue splodges or stuff. So I'm just clearing away as much as I can, not that that one went anywhere. Alright, so I'm going to give that a second, and the rest should be a bit easier once you've got the first two in. So I'm going to give that a minute to take before I mess around with it, and then I'll get the rest in and show you what it looks like. Alright, I know I said I'd be back when it's done, but they want the next ones to be like to make a cross, basically. So it would go in here, and making sure you get your counts right, and in here. So I will go and do that and then fill in the rest. Okay, I know I said I'd be back with the rest, but I definitely find it easier to put it in the top ones first and then in the bottom one. Much easier. Alright, I'll be back. Alright, I thought I was recording, but I'm not. So, okay, so while these take a moment to set, I'm just going ahead and put in on the base these ones. So there's 3 points. You stay there a second. There's 3 points of connection on these ones. So this one's your top one. This one's going to be this one here. And then this one here is the bottom one. So all I'm doing, and not saying this is the best way to do it yet, is putting them on here so they've got a chance to dry. Alright, don't let it dry fully, because obviously we want some manoeuvrability for this, and like I say, not saying this is going to work or an easier way, it probably isn't. Oh, can I get my glue out? Yeah. So I'm going to start with a couple on one side and see what I do. So like I say, don't let it dry fully, because wood glue is very good for that. So it's still a little wobbly, which is what we want. Just manoeuvring it in a bit. This one's the one caught. That one goes over there. It's probably no easier doing it this way, you know that, right? Probably made myself more headaches. Well, let me pull that one out then. Than it's worth. Okay, that one's in. Not quite fully in though, but that one's into ish, about to be in. Yeah, I don't think it's any easier, guys. Maybe just put them in normally on this one. I mean, it seemed like an idea at the time. Not perfect. I can make mistakes, admit them, do it all the time. And then going on to the next one. Yeah, this one's come out anyway. Alright, so don't necessarily do what I suggested. In fact, it's probably more of a pain in the butt, to be honest with you, because they all keep getting caught up. Right, well, I got two in. So not a terrible decision, just probably not the best decision. Yeah. Alright, I'm going to go and solve this problem. Don't do what I did. That's what I suggest. Okay, alright, let me go and get them in. Plus, they're not actually really hard to put in the first place, so I was, especially if you put them in the right place. Made your work. I'm sure you didn't follow it to the T. You would have watched the whole video to realise that I changed my mind about this thing, right? Yeah. Okay. So it hasn't fully set anyway, so it's not a big deal. And the other thing is that with wood glue, particularly, if you put it in and let it dry for even a second or two before you put it in, it will take a better hold rather than doing it. I keep trying to put them in the wrong way. Yeah. Alright, now I'll go and get this finished. Make sure they're all in proper. Okay, and now I'm just going to pop this top on. Oh, that one doesn't look in, does it? If it's in, it's very crooked. Right. So lesson learnt. Make sure I get some of this glue out and off. The idea seemed a good idea at the second I thought about it. Then when it was building, it was like, wow, is that a good idea? It's still a little tricky, just not as tricky as I did it. Nope, don't put too much pressure on. That one just came out. It'd be nice to get a roof done that I don't break. This one doesn't want to go in right at all. No, that one fell out. Guess I should have probably let it dry. think we're done. Oh, this one's out again. And that's one of the little ones. Maybe that's the same little one. No, it can't be, because the little ones were alright. Oh gosh. So putting them in the top all made the bottom ones come out. Alright, let me go and fix this. Alright, got there eventually. We will now move on to the steps. So they are all in properly. I had to re-glue quite a few. Maybe it was when I was pressing down on here that I popped quite a few out. That's probably what it was. But it is done. And with no breakages, so whew, not so bad, huh? Like I say, just do it as they tell you to do it. Don't follow me on that one. Right, I'm going to go and get my steps together so that we can look at that. Alright, so what we're going to need for this is the pier that we did in what issue? What issue was it? 86. Okay. Probably the next thing we're going to build is some chimney or something, you know, because it's so out there to do something like this with a roof with no walls. Probably going to be a chimney to go on a, I don't know, a something we haven't built yet. So it's up to you where you put your glue. And in this particular bit, it doesn't matter which way you have this. But when it comes to fitting it, didn't I just try this? Just missing. Can't see where the holes is, put too much glue. There we go. So really you should try fit all of these before you ever pop the glue in. I seem to forget to do that a lot. Okay, and then clean off any excess we have from the inside and the outside, and then just all we have to do is join it up. Okay, it's probably going to be easier to put it on here this time. And these are our steps to our pier, and now it will make a difference when we put it on there which way this faces, because these ends, and I'll show you in a sec, these ends have two directions. It has a pointy end there, which is the piece that attaches there, and then it has the flat part, which is the piece that will go on the ground. Maybe once that's in it, it'll stay upright. What do we think? Maybe. Okay, and then just make sure you've got it in the same direction as what you had, and put that in. Line it up somewhat. Should be reasonably easy, right? I mean, the roof wasn't as bad. I mean, I had a lot of problems with the main roof, so this one wasn't too bad. Just my easier method was definitely not an easier method. Just make sure it's all pushed down. Again, get rid of any excess that you have. It's not gonna, I mean, well, it does dry clear, but I think it sometimes can leave, like if there's little lumps and bumps like this, it can leave that on the frame. Started to put it back on. I don't want that. You can also use cotton buds so that these kind of get a bit more into the corners where you may need them. And again down here, just tidying it up really. Okay, and that should be okay. And then all we have to do is fit the two together, so there's two little places here for it to go in, so it will fit something like, opposite way of what I'm trying, like this into there. So let me get some glue for that, and again I'm just using wood glue, and I'm just putting it into the hills, and hopefully that will take. And then just leave that to dry. still doesn't stand on its own. And it sticks out a bit. Like I thought it would have been flush with here, but it's not. It's got a piece that's definitely not flush. Maybe, I mean, it's probably meant to be like that. Theirs looks more flush than mine. But I can't get it in anymore, so that is that. So that's what we've done in this issue, and that's it. So we've done kind of a bit random. We've done a roof that's going to fit on there eventually. Oh, there you go. That's that thingy's out, and we've put some steps on the pier, which just need to dry. So they haven't fully taken yet. So I probably shouldn't put any weight on there until it takes. I'll just make sure it's in. I'll perch it against there instead. There we go. Let's see what we're doing in issue 92. It's probably 92, so I'll get you 93. 92. It's probably going to be, like I said, a chimney to go somewhere weird. You know, we got a chimney here, right? Alright, what are we doing? Oh, okay, we're going to be doing the walls. And, oh, they have glass staining. Yeah, that'd be pretty. Alrighty, so thank you very much for watching. I hope you've found it enjoyable. Even with me trying new things and it not really working, I mean, that's how we learn. And yeah, do feel free to like and like and comment. Well, yeah, both. Like, subscribe, comment, and I will get back to you. Or you can email me. My email address is right at the end, or opallyhour@outlook.com. But I know when I say that, the subtitles never look like that. It looks really bizarre, actually. Anyway, do take care of yourself. I appreciate you all from watching and for joining me on this journey. Take care. Bye bye now.